tearing out pieces of me to replace the broken pieces of you. Tearing out.
Hello, wealthy family, and welcome to today's video. Thank you so much for coming and sharing some time with me. I love and appreciate you all. So today's video, we are going to talk about the importance of shelter. Now, I know everyone's like, yeah, we know we need a place to live, but being in control of where you live is just as important. There are a lot of different things in the making that are trying to keep us suppressed. Here in the Tampa Bay area, housing has skyrocketed over 2,000%. Okay, renters, long-time renters, are being pushed out. There used to be a time where you could find a nice two-bedroom in Tampa for 1,100. Now it's well over 2,000. It's ridiculous. And the market, right, the market, the housing market, real estate, is always fluctuating. And then they're constantly telling people, oh, there's a bubble, oh, it's growth, oh, it's inflation, oh, it's this, oh, it's that, right? Oh, it's a recession. But it's all manipulated by people who are in control. Because even though things may be inflated or cost more, you can always find something that is reasonable, right? You just have to put enough effort and energy behind it. So why am I talking about this? Because here in America, you can never really truly own something. If you don't pay your taxes, like, it's done, okay? So thinking in the matter of ownership is very important, because if you own something, no one can take it away from you. If it belongs to you, no one can take it away from you. But when you're thinking of real estate, it's all borrowed. However, if you put the effort and you purchase land, or you keep houses in the family and pass it on for generation to generation, that's one way of growing wealth. But it's also a way of ensuring your not safety, but your like, you're anchored, right? Your security. All right. So let's take, for example, grandparents' house. Many grandparents have had their house, maybe small and maybe older, may not be updated, but when they pass, they give it to their children. And their children may be like, well, I already have a house, or that house is old and in disrepair, I'm not going to keep it. And they go, they sell it off. And then in a year or two, they see it change. Now the neighborhood is growing and it's booming. People that bought the house have renovated it and put the love and TLC into it that could have been done. Even farmland. Right now, China, and Bill Gates, but it's China, Bill Gates, owns the most land. No, wait. Or is it Bill Gates and China? Anyway, it's two people that should not be in control of the majority of our land. But the farmland is purchased or held by the majority of them. Now, if they choose to put houses, or even if it's just farmland, but they develop it into houses, if they choose to put housing on there, now they say, okay, well, you come work with us and we'll put you up in housing. You lose that job, now you lose your house. Now you don't know what it is that you need to do with it. Or if they continue to buy up real estate and then say, well, this area now is going to be worth XYZ. Now people can't afford to be there. Now they're being pushed onto the outskirts where there's no resources, where there's no grocery stores or good schools or hospitals or anything of that nature. There's nothing wrong with renting, but when you allow other people to control where you live, or have control over your shelter, which is something we all need, when you allow other people to be in control of that, you are now at their mercy. There are so many different approaches you can take. Instead of just, I'm going to go buy a house ready-made, or, I've grown up in this city, so I have to live in this city all the time. You have so many different choices. You can choose to buy a land and build your house up from scratch. You can choose to move out the country, because other countries, when you purchase a land plot, like, it's yours. You don't have to worry about keep paying taxes and things of that nature. Or you can take a pre-existing shelter and decide to give it some TLC, right? Instead of having that microwave mentality and say, oh, it's not moving ready, Give yourself some time to turn it around and make it what it is that you want. But shelter is important. But if we continue to relinquish our power and say, you know what, whatever, I can't be bothered to go and buy, or my credit isn't good, or I don't know how to build a house, or I don't want to put in this, whatever the excuse or whatever the reasoning may be, when you keep relinquishing that, eventually you're going to look up and there's going to be nothing there for you to have or hold on to. You're going to look up and all these big corporations or the government is going to control all these housing places, and then they're going to say, okay, well, you can't afford to live here, we'll put you up in this place, kind of like Section 8, right? Let's do a Section 8 for the middle class, right? For the middle class, for what's left of it. So now we're going to put you up and we're going to play a subsidy in it. But you can't let these people live here, these people visit. We have to come in and inspect it. If we see something in there that we don't like, we're going to snatch it away. Now you're homeless. If you have children, now they're ours. Do you understand? Like, it's so important for you to control where you live and not be stuck to something out of some rare, what is it, obligation. Okay? In my travels this year and where my husband was working, I was seeing places in West Virginia, houses going for $12,000. $12,000 for a 3-story. You have an attic, but you know the attics are big. Then you have a second story, then a first floor. It's the first floor. And that's 3 stories that everyone can come together and say, hey, let's do this, let's put this up. Right? Kind of how other cultures will come. How they grow, how they took over a lot of Florida. Other cultures came here and said, you know what, we're going to get a house. It's a 4-bedroom. There's going to be 20 of us in that mud, but we're all going to come together, collaborate, help this person buy their house, help this person buy their house, help this person build this house, help this person renovate this house, however it is, coming together as a community. Taking it back, buying the block. One family at a time. But when you sit back and you relinquish your power and don't have control over where it is that you live and how your domain is going to be kept, you now are letting someone else have a dictatorship over your circumstances. When I was a military spouse, man, they used to say, okay, well, this is how the pictures have to be hung in the house, because we lived on base. This is how the pictures have to be hung in the house. You can't do this. You can't burn candles. You can't do that. I was like, well, damn. What can I do? Can I make it my own? Right? And they would come in sometimes and do random, hey, I'm just stopping in to check to see. You understand what I'm saying? They always like to have their hand in certain things, and if you continue to allow it, it's going to be an issue. You also can protest your taxes and dictate where your taxes are going to. The property taxes are for properties that you own. If you just go ahead and blindlessly just pay the property tax for the sake of it, but you don't have any control over who allocates where these taxes go to and how it moves, you also do not have control over your community. You have to have control in your community and stop just relinquishing it to other people. When people who say they don't have any time to do anything, but you have time to sit and watch TV or listen to the radio or read a book or whatever the case is, you have to start investing back into yourself and start learning the real estate game. Because that is forever. Real estate is forever. Planet isn't going anywhere. This earth is not going anywhere. Okay? We are, but this planet isn't. And if you start tracing back and learning how to control the land and work the land and build your house and have, you see my garden here behind me, that's my banana trees coming back thriving. Remember Hurricane Ian knocked one of them down? That one's coming back. When you have your own house and domain, you control your own stuff. You can do what it is that you want to do, right? Behind closed doors. But if you don't have any control of that because you're giving yourself some type of excuse, that's what you will always receive. Excuses. And you'll never have that control and that power. It's important to control where you live and how it's ran. That's why local political races are so important. The presidential race, who gives? Who cares? Who cares? The president don't be doing nothing. Because all the states are in control of their own stuff. So it's important to control where you live, the community in which you live, and the houses or the properties that's there. How much pride do you have? It's important to have that. Okay, so I just wanted to share that very, very quick video. Okay, there's so many things on YouTube. In this age of information, ignorance is a choice. You can figure out how to purchase a home or purchase land to work or to grow things on, or just have land just to sit on it. I have someone in my family who owns a whole bunch of land in Central Florida, and what they do, they lease out parts of the land to cell phone companies because they have to set their towers up so that customers can have access, and they get a stipend from these cell phone companies every month. There's nothing on that land, it's just a plot of land. Hello, that's thinking. Okay? So that is it. I love you all. I appreciate you all. Until we connect again, stay alert, stay aware, and live in love.